warmest thing, please. I got it, guys, we gotta speed it up a little bit, all right? Otherwise, we're never gonna get through this night. Oh my God, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Seriously, I almost started crying when I was coming down here on stage tonight, man. It was wonderful. Yeah, last week I was performing in front of a bunch of Gen Z kids and they're like, shut up, boomer! I'm like, I'm only 7 years older, relax, jeez. No, but seriously, thank you all so much for making this an amazing, packed out house here tonight, man. I'm feeling great. Not just because you guys are here, but also I recently lost 25 pounds. Thank you, yeah, I didn't do it for this. I did it because I was just getting tired of dropping a $300 copay just for my doctor to call me fat, you know? Last year I discovered this lump on the side of my neck, and I went to go see my doctor, and the moment I got in, he just gave me this piece of paper. I was like, oh, what is this, a prescription, you know, a form for blood work? He's like, no, dieting recommendations. You know what those recommendations were? I thought they'd be helpful, but you know what they were? Freaking Starbucks oatmeal, Jimmy John's turkey sub, and Wendy's salad and baked potato. I was like, bro, are you getting fast food commission? Like what? Am I supposed to go up to a drive-thru and they're like, sir, will that be cash or credit? Actually, do you take Blue Cross, Blue Shield? Like what, if I was still on my parents' plan, would I only qualify for a Happy Meal? Jeez. Oh, man. I recently watched the Guardians of the Galaxy movie recently, man. Yeah. Oh, thank you, yeah. I know some people out in the audience, they're more like, there's too many superheroes. I disagree. There's not enough superhero movies, honestly. Yeah. One guy in the front, yeah. The rest of you are like, no, I agree with the other people. I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I'm a huge comic book fan. And I see some of you guys looking at me like, no shit, Sherlock. You're dressed as Wolverine if you join the Beatles. Seriously, I could start a cover band called The Bubbles, and we could sing such classics. Like, when I find Storm and Cyclops in trouble, Professor X will call on me. Will you lead the X-Men Wolverine? Oh, man. Oh, my God, thank you! Oh, man. I love Marvel, man. I love it all, you know, like Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. They're my guys, man. But DC, though, not as much. Like, I recently rewatched the movie Aquaman for this next joke, and for a movie that takes place 85% underwater, shouldn't the majority of the script just have read and then in subtitles it just reads, sure is wet. Yeah, it's weird being a nerd today, man, because it's like cool. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a great thing, man. It's just, it's weird. It's a weird adjustment period for me, you know? Because, look, I'm a millennial. Like, I grew up at the tail end of a generation where liking Dragon Ball Z meant you like men dragging balls on your face, okay? Yeah. But nowadays, though, it's totally cool. Like, so many of my friends over the past couple years have recently come out of the closet as anime fans, you know? It's insane, man, too. Like, last time I went to visit my friends from Boston, all of them, the entire time, just arguing over plot lines of Naruto. Like, I remember growing up, like, whenever I go to a friend's house in high school, we would just argue over who could bench press the most. You know, that was the only thing we did. That was the only thing they did. Newsflash, wasn't me, okay? Like, they used to roast me all the time about knowing too much about Spider-Man. But nowadays, they've done this Uno reverse card on my ass. And now they roast me for not knowing enough, you know? Just like, oh, Dan hasn't read Astonishing X-Men number 277? What a loser, you know? Like, to them, it's heresy I've never seen Game of Thrones. Like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you, no, all right, fuck you. Sorry I'm not foaming at the mouth over Lord of the Rings murder porn, all right? The shrugs, oh my God, sorry, somebody here doesn't like Hodor.
The last 3 seasons.
All right, we'll do the forum later, okay? Oh man, no, it's great. Like, being a nerd is a viable career path. I'm not talking about those guys that learned to code at age 6 and then went on to invent Google. Those aren't nerds. Those are AI prototypes, all right? Like, no, man. I'm talking about, like, you can make a 6-figure salary just by being a fan, all right? That to me is insane. Like Like, if I knew at 18 what I know now, I wouldn't be on stage doing this. Dude, I'm bombing at bar shows every night, wondering if it's my material that sucks, or if the audience just really wanted to watch the Lakers lose the NBA playoffs. Like, no, man, like, I would be in my mansion wondering what retro Nintendo classic I want to play for my millions of fans, all right? Just, yes, Donkey Kong Country, okay, another 10,000 to my savings account, beautiful. My dad told me if I wanted to make a living playing video games, I would be living in a box under a bridge the rest of my life. I'm mad because not only was he wrong, but last Christmas he was like, you know, Daniel, I don't know why you never got into Twitch. You'd be so good at it. I'm trying to let that go, all right? I'm trying, you know, because we're all getting older these days, man. Like, I'm getting old. Hell, I just turned 30 years old, you know? It's thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, as I said earlier, the show in front of Gen Z kids, that wasn't like that. It was more like, oh no, he's dying, you know? Just. People are often surprised whenever I tell them I'm 30, you know? They're like, you're only 30? And look, I get it. Like, I've been often described as having recently divorced dad energy. Which, like, on the one hand, I'm like, all right, that's a nice compliment. People think I'm capable of both making and having love. That's great. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't like that people's first impression of me is that I regret not signing a prenup, you know? Just like, I thought I'd wake up on my 30th birthday and just have all of my affairs in order, you know? Just wake up freshly clean shaven in a suit, ready to conquer the business world. Like I'm Logan Roy, you know? Just it's my frickin' 30th! And I'm going to rule the corporate empire with an iron fist! And to anyone who tells me I can't, I'll tell them to fuck off! But did that happen? Did that happen? No, all right, that's not what happened. You know what happened on my 30th birthday? I woke up, took one look at the mirror, and saw Cousin Greg looking right back at me, just... Oh, still conflict averse as always, aren't we, Dad? I'm 30 years old, man. I'm still afraid of bees. You know, just... That's a fear you're allowed to have until you're like 7, okay? Look, I'm afraid of like other normal adult things too, but like, it's just the threat of a wasp sting trumps all of that, all right? Like, people ask me, oh, what's the scariest movie of all time? I'm like, any Honey Nut Cheerios commercial, okay? Yes, yeah, dude, their mascot is my Freddy Krueger, man, just haunting my dreams like, no, get away! No, I don't want to be happy! No, I want to be healthy! Oh, man, This is pathetic. All right, you know, okay, back in 2020, like in April of 2020, murder hornets invaded the United States of America. Like some of you guys were like, oh no, I don't want to remember that year. But no, man, like I remember when that happened for like a solid week, I lived as if coronavirus didn't exist, you know? Like I saw my roommate walking out of that house one time and I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh right, sorry, my mask. And I'm like, we're well beyond masks at this point. You need a smoker and a beekeeping suit now. I recently came back from visiting my parents. Every time I visit my parents, they're always trying to convince me to move back to where they live. And look, I get it. It's because they miss me and they love me. And I live here in LA, and I know we're all here tonight, but we can admit it's a little bit of a wacky place here, you know? Like, it's polluted, it's crime-ridden, and for some reason, it's more socially acceptable to say you eat people than it is to say you eat bread, you know? I don't know, like in some social circles, like Jeffrey Dahmer, life of the party, but Betty Crocker, public enemy number 1. Yeah. My parents, they're always like, well, Daniel, if you know LA sucks, why do you stay? And I'm like, well, it's simple, Mom. It's the only place where my Mountain Dew shirt can be considered business formal attire, all right? Look, I might be inhaling smog fumes on a daily basis, but at least I can let my coworkers know I do the do, okay? Yeah. Yeah, code red! There's other reasons why I stay too, but my folks think that those same reasons why I stay exist where they do, and they don't, you know? Like, my dad, he was just like, Daniel, I don't understand why you try and waste your time pitching movie ideas to studios like Warner Brothers and Universal when you could just pitch to the movie studios by us. I was like, what movie studios? You currently live in Amish country, Pennsylvania. The only way it will be a cinematic hotspot is if they make Avatar 3 The Way of Wicker Furniture, okay? Oh, come here, Jimmy Sulan. I don't remember the character's name. It's been a minute. Man. Come raise this barn underwater. All right. Oh, man. Here's something that'll either restore or destroy your faith in relationships. I have a girlfriend. Thank you, yeah. Thank you. That's so kind. Some of you guys were looking at me like, oh, that poor woman. No, she's amazing, man. She's this amazingly incredible, talented singer, songwriter, actress. And whenever I tell people about her, they're all like, oh, man, she sounds made up, you know? Just... People always accuse her of being fake. They're like, let me guess, Dan, she's Canadian? I'm like, only 50%, you know, just... I love my girlfriend, man. She's amazing. She's kind, she's sweet, she's caring. Honestly, the only caveat about my relationship is that she's a foot shorter than me, you know? Like she's mended my broken heart, but at the cost of 2 dislodged vertebrae, all right? Just... No, but like, it's not like she's like a little person, you know? She's 5'5". That's the average female height in America. She is qualified to do jobs outside the Keebler Elf treehouse, you know? She's not the freak in our relationship. I am, all right? Like, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm 6'5". I'm in that weird gray area of being tall that's between conventionally attractive and slasher movie villain. You realize all I need is a hockey mask and a butcher's knife, and I'm banned from every campground in North America. I'm 6'5", she's 5'5". There's a whole ruler length difference between us, you know? Like, my mom, when we started dating, she was like, oh, how much taller are you than your lady? And I'm like, Mom, I'll put it like this. There's enough space to leave room for Jesus, you know? Just... I love telling that joke because you know exactly who went to Catholic school in the room. It's crazy though. Like, whenever we kiss, my body bends 90 degrees, okay? Like, we form a right triangle when we make out, all right? People are like, oh, what's your guys' favorite sexual position? I'm like, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Yeah, I gotta solve Pythagorean Theorem just to get a smooch, okay? Seriously, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A for ass, B for back, and C if you're the cute girl I'm gonna marry someday. Yeah, that's right. One day I'm gonna marry my hypotenuse. You know? Oh man, it's funny. I ran that joke by my girlfriend recently. She's like, "Yeah, Dan, when are you gonna do it?" Just soon. Okay. I'm very confident that things are gonna work out between me and my girlfriend. You know, like I really do. But if, and this is a very, 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 very big if, we break up. I hope it's for like a normal reason, you know? Like last time I was dumped, the girl told me it was because I wasn't as into nature as she was, which I'm like, really? I thought we were a perfect match, you know? She's really into hiking and I'm as big as a mountain, you know? Just... By the way, that whole like 6'4", you must be this tall to ride Bumble, that's not real. People who view people of my height on dating apps see me in the same way hunters view the deer they just shot, okay? They just want to take a picture next to us so that they can bring it back to their friend group so they'll be like, oh yeah, Becky, yeah, that's real cute. That 5'8" accountant from Philadelphia, real cute, real cute. Look at this big ass Bostonian I found! Like, you know those like big game hunter arcade game cabinets? Like, yeah, like the ones where you shoot digital versions of Bambi, those ones? Yeah, they need to make like a dating equivalent to that game, where instead of a gun, it's a selfie stick. And instead of like AI animals, it's just virtualized versions of myself, Shaquille O'Neal, and the Slender Man. People always ask me if like my girlfriend's a nerd, and she's not. And I made a point of that, you know? Like I really, really did. Because nerds have the most unrealistic dating standards outside of any other group in society, you know? Like, look, I know some of you guys, you've been like rejected for being bald, broke, but like, have you guys ever been broken up with because you didn't know all 4 houses of Harry Potter? You know? I have. And now, granted, I've also been that person. I really have. I will not lie. Like, I've been on so many first dates in my early 20s where I was like, what? You can't do Iron Man's fucking infinite combo in Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Not a suitable mate. Like, I learned, don't get me wrong, I learned. It took me dating several girls I met at anime conventions, mind you. But I learned, man, I did. Like, I don't know, I remember this one time I dated this girl, former band geek, and I was like, oh, cool, this is perfect. You know, I play saxophone, I'll tell her that I play saxophone. So I do, but the moment I do, she gets up, starts walking out, and goes, nope, I don't date guys who play the easy instruments. Yeah, apparently to her, the beautiful sax solos of jazz icon John Coltrane, nothing but the libido-lowering echoes of a slacker, okay? I was like, all right, well, what is a hard instrument then? She's like, shamisen. I'm like, I don't know what that is. This is horrible. She said, and that's why you'll always be single. At least let me do a Google search before you curse me with a lifetime of loneliness. Jeez. Another time, man. This one's even worse. I was texting this girl, and like we were hitting it off really well. Like I found out we had the same favorite anime, and I was like, "This is great. This is a great bonding opportunity." And so I asked her what her favorite character is. She tells me. I'm like, "All right, cool. I like this character." And she texts back, "All right, no, we're done here." I'm like, it's like what? For those of you unfamiliar, my favorite anime is a show called One Piece. You know, it's one nerd in the audience. One fellow Nakama. All right, that's a reference none of you but him get. It's a wonderful show. It's very popular in Japan, not here. And it's like known for it's like story, humor, animation style. But the biggest part about One Piece is that the show is over 1,000 episodes long, and it's still going on today. All right. You know how many characters are in a show that spans over 1,000 episodes? Enough to keep my interest for over 1,000 episodes. Actually, no, now I'm just remembering this. Over the pandemic, I actually rewatched the entire show all the way through again, all right? So you might say I watched 2,000 episodes of One Piece, all right? 2,000 episodes of a show about pirates who get superpowers from eating fruit, all right? Very few people have that much time on their hands, all right? Do you understand? I tried calling her up. I was like, who else? Who else is gonna sit through 2,000 episodes of One Piece? Who? And you know what she said back to me? The number you are trying to reach is no longer available. Goodbye. She blocked me! Over an anime boy in a straw hat and cut-off jean shorts screaming, I'm gonna be king of the pirates, you know? I didn't realize how insane some of these people's dating standards were until I started dating my current girlfriend, you know? Like, I really didn't. Like, on our first date, my girlfriend asked me, hey, do you pay your rent on time? I was like, yeah. And she was like, great, when can we move in together? You know, just... So it's easier, all right? Oh, man. It's an interesting dynamic between me and my girlfriend. She views me as a very manly man, which I've never once saw in myself, you know, like I've never once thought of myself as a masculine guy. Like I don't drink beer or watch sports or have confidence, you know, no. Like I play Pokemon and regret mistakes from middle school. That's my entire personality, all right? Just, ooh, Pikachu, why did I call Miss Chamberlain Bob, you know, just. Recently, we learned that we moved to the same neighborhood in Los Angeles at the exact same time, August 2017. And when my girlfriend found that out, she got really excited. She was like, oh, Dan, how great would it have been if we had gotten together? Wouldn't that have been great if we had met at that time? Wouldn't that have been magical? I was like, no, it wouldn't have. I don't want you to know who I was pre-therapy. Dude, I can't tell you how liberating of a feeling it is when you realize that your significant other will never see who you were in high school, okay? Like, my volume control was so bad, if you can imagine it. That my friends nicknamed me Broken Remote, okay? And look, I deserved it too, you know, anytime I got like called on to read a play in class, I'd be like, but soft, through yonder window speak, it is the east, and Juliet is the sun. And then in the background, my friends would just be like, Miss Chamberlain, call the AV department. I think we broke down. You know, just yeah. I don't know. Like I had to do so much work on myself just to be able to date the person I'm dating today. You know, like I had to get sober. Yeah. Contrary to my disposition, my life isn't fueled by drugs. You know. Yeah, what you see up here, 100% unmedicated anxiety, man. That's. You're like, aha, there's the mental illness. Like, no, man, it's. And look, I get it. The mix-up happens all the time. Like, I remember I was at this bar one time, and this girl followed me into a bathroom because she thought I had cocaine. And she was so disappointed to learn the only thing I had was a panic attack. Just. I am 4 years sober. Yes, that's. That. I'll be honest, I was hoping you'd clap at that one and not the earlier part when I was like, yeah, no, I'm not on drugs. But whatever, it's fine. But no, yeah, 4 years, no drinking, no smoking, no Panda Express, you know, just. I don't care who you are, man. The DEA needs to classify Panda as an addictive substance, all right? Like, I'm surprised there's not an item on the menu called crack lo mein, you know, just. Like, honestly, there needs to be a Surgeon General warning on the front of every Panda that says, warning, our orange chicken is known to cause heart disease, cancer, and white people thinking this is authentic Asian cuisine. I'm glad you all clapped, though, when I said I was sober. Because when I first quit, you know, I didn't have the same level of support, you know? Like, there wasn't a lot of, oh, good for you. It was more like, aw, but my bachelor party's next week, you know? Just... Like, I remember when I first quit, first few months, I went over to a friend's house, friend's apartment, and same thing in LA, who gives a shit? And like, I just remember when I walked in, I just saw all of my friends sitting around in a circle, 40 in one hand, a letter in the other, and they're like, sit down, Dad. We need to talk about your drinking habits. I was like, what? You know I quit, right? And they're like, exactly, we need you to start again. It didn't hit me until like a day later where I was like, did I just be a part of a reverse intervention? One where my friends want me to keep ruining my life? What the fuck? I wasn't a full-blown alcoholic, but I was close. I was a drunk, which is basically an alcoholic, but people still think you're fun, you know? Like look, you can be a functional alcoholic, you can only be a sloppy drunk, you know? Just... Like, because an alcoholic can get behind the seat of a car, know where every DUI checkpoint is, and know how to avoid it. A drunk will get behind that same vehicle, see that DUI checkpoint, and then think it's the starting line to a game of Mario Kart, okay? Yeah, you'll be driving around like you're on banana peels like, oh man, blue light behind me, you're not gonna catch me, blue shell. Turns out it's the boys in blue, just, oh man, there goes my lead in life. DUI, all right. I remember when I first quit drinking, like everybody kept coming up to me and they're like, oh, come on, Dan, just cheat on your sobriety one time for me. Just cheat one time for me, come on, just cheat on me. I'm like, cheat, bro, it's not a diet. It's not like somebody brought donuts into the office one day and I'm like, well, I know I'm trying to cut back on sugar and gluten, but maybe just one. No. Dude, my just one will turn into just 1 dozen, okay? Like, one person's like, woo, I think. I had no self-control when I was drinking, man. I had no self-control at all. That's why people found me so fun as a drunk. You know, people are like, oh, Dan can drink a whole bottle of Jaeger by himself. That's not something to be proud of. It's not something you report to the Xbox leaderboards. Like, people ask me if I miss drinking at all. Kind of, I guess. I don't know, like there's certain things I don't miss, like shots. Like, no, I hate shots, man, I really do. Like, I remember like in college, I had this one roommate who wouldn't let us go out to a party until we did what was known as a power hour. You know, anybody here know what that is? Yeah. Oh, the millennial woos are like, oh, those nights are always filled with regrets. For those of you unfamiliar, a power hour is when you do a shot of beer every minute for 1 hour. It sounds just as horrible as it is. Okay? It's disgusting, man. You feel like you're on a special frat version edition of 60 Minutes, you know? Just like replace the sound of a ticking clock with a case of Bud Light going. I'm Mike Wallace. I'm Wally Schaefer. And I'm Mick Bruce. See us and Andy Rooney try to figure out who can go the longest without barfing tonight on 60. There are moments where I miss drinking, for sure, but whenever I have those moments, I have to remind myself not to go down memory lane, you know? Like, mostly because I don't remember too much. I don't know, when you drink, your common sense just decides to take a gap year and go backpacking around Europe, you know? Just, like, it's horrible. Like, it just goes completely absent in moments where you need it, man. Like, back when I was drinking, I remember I was making out with this girl drunkenly in this bar, and while we were like, I felt something pop into my mouth, and I pulled away for a second. I was like, what the hell is this? I pull out. What did I pull out? One of her fake teeth! Yeah, it was disgusting! And as I'm staring at it, she looks at it, takes it out of my hand, and then goes, don't worry, this happens all the time. And then pops it back into her mouth! And look, what was my reaction? Not what you think it should have been, because my common sense was out helping sick kids in Guam, you know, just... No, my reaction was not, oh, that's enough Frenching for me one night. That's disgusting. Goodbye. No, I was like, all right, that's cool, and then proceeded to start making out with her again. If you don't look back at like who you used to be and not cringe to the point that you shrivel up and become a raisin, you need to go to therapy before you wind up on a government watch list, okay? Like, if Taylor Swift can gain the self-awareness to go, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. So can you, all right? Like, and look, I'm in therapy right now. It's been such a huge help for my life. I used to be an even more anxious person than who I am today, man. Like, I'd have friends being like, Dan, relax. You gotta stop and smell the flowers real quick. And I'm like, but I'm afraid of bees. It wasn't just anxiety, though. Like, my imposter syndrome was also horrendous, man. Like, I could walk into a room full of animals in people clothing and worry that I'm not human enough. Just walking out of a job interview, no way I'm getting that. That pig was wearing a tie. It just... I'll never forget when I first started seeing my therapist. She told me that she's never seen somebody with as low self-esteem as myself. Which, it sounds horrible, yes, but honestly, that was the breaking point I needed in my life. I was like, yeah, I'm the best at something, man! It was such an ego boost, oh my gosh. What I love about therapy the most is, like, I can look back at who I was and know that I'm no longer that, like, crazed up, spazzy kid. I know I'm a little chaotic in my disposition, but I can safely say I'm no longer that person, man. Like, I'm not that guy anymore who's gonna freak out because Taco Bell's out of Baja Blast, you know? Like, I'm not that guy who's gonna go up to people at the lunch table and then argue with them because they think PlayStation's better than Nintendo. No. No, I'm not that guy, man. I'm not that guy who's just gonna go on endless rants about how bad he thinks the state of modern music is. I'm not that guy. But since we're on the subject, you ever notice how most modern musicians sound like serial killers? You know? Like, I don't know, I feel like during the pandemic, every major pop artist got really into Ted Bundy documentaries, and now they're just trying to do their best impression of Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. The biggest offender of this has to be Billie Eilish, though, man. Like, Billie Eilish's music is what most serial killers whistle before they claim their victims, all right? Like, every time her music comes on the radio, I feel like she's just gonna bust out of my car speakers like, surprise, now I'm gonna kill you, you know? I'm not the bad guy she is, you know? No, it's like, but I realized it has nothing to do with the lyrics. The lyrics are fine. It's those instrumentals about her music, you know? Just that creepy, haunted nightclub circus organ, just that shit. But no, if she just sang any other genre of music at all, any other genre, I swear she would sound so much less creepy. Like, I mean, hell, country, R&B, rap, metal, even metal, man. Like, if Billie Eilish was like the lead singer of like a Pantera or a Disturbed or a Slayer, dude, I would be up there thrashing my head back and forth while she's on stage shouting, so you're a tough guy, like it really rough guy, just can't get enough guy, you're in the bad guy. Oh, crap. Maybe I'm not as far along as I thought I was. Oh, man. Well, my therapist is going to get a mouthful of me next week. It's love therapy. You can't, I know I've said that enough. You guys are like, we know! It does annoy me, though, when people come up to me and they question why I'm in therapy. They're like, why are you like seeing a shrink? Like, that makes no sense. You're so tall and have such a deep voice. You know, I never thought of it like that. But you might be right, you know? She could be right. Like, I was thinking about asking my shrink if I should go on antidepressants, but fuck that. I should just ask her if I should take human growth hormone instead, you know? Like, who needs to address their trust issues when you've got size 13 shoes and vocal cords meant only for movie trailers, you know? In a world where one man, nay, one-man child struggles to confront his relationship PTSD. Will he confront his inner demons? Or will he use his freakishly long legs as a means to never grow up? Amish Country, Pennsylvania Studios presents Dan Grove in cognitive behavioral therapy. Folks, you guys have been so great. My name is Dan Grove. Have an amazing night.